And we are live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hacks Chats Interviews. I'm your host, Art Thibert, and I've been doing math, and it gives me a headache, but it gives me, I did some math today, and I keep saying over 30 years or 30 years in this comic book industry. And I think Taylor and I think she helped me out because, like I said, I'm bad with math. I think I have like 34, 35 years invested in this wacky comics industry. And I've mainly worked for Marvel and DC on titles like Spider-Man, X-Men, Teen Titans, you name it, I probably have done it. And as always, Taylor Grosso.
Hey, everybody. It's me. It's your boy, Tag. I'll be reading your chat today. And Art, we did do the math, but I think if you started in 82, it would be 36 years.
Oh, no. I'm old. I got a lot of work done though in that amount of time. I got piles and piles of artwork in the Thibert vaults.
You have more work than some people have done in their entire lifetime.
Hell yeah. Can I say that? Oh, I'm not on Mike's channel. I can be an adult. I can talk like an adult. Well, okay, so
words like ass and crap
and crap and poop. Okay, well, we have people chiming in, so we should introduce them. And so our main guest, because we wanted to get her on and to talk about her amazing charity.
Thank you, I'm honored.
Oh, you. Just for that, you're going to get kicked.
Go back to the car.
Go back.
Fast booster.
We have
record time.
Yeah, we have Popefire on the chat, and we'll get to her and have her explain her amazing charity. But just give us a little introduction, Pope.
I am Popefire. I'm the founder and face of Comics Titans fundraiser. I modded a whole bunch of Comicsgate groups. You probably have seen me in a whole bunch of chats being very pro Starfire and anti Raven. So.
Which we will get into. Taylor so wants to ask about that, by the way.
Sorry, Pope Raven, if you're in the chat.
Don't apologize to her. She doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Pope Raven actually is a really good friend of mine. So we fight, but we love each other.
Okay, well that's boring. We need some blood.
Yes, true.
Well, I can't compete with Raven. Pope Raven doesn't know anything about Raven, so it's hard because I know everything about Raven, and she doesn't know anything about Raven.
Oh, so it's flinging now. The poo is flinging. The fists are flying.
You heard it here first.
First blood. Okay, so then we have Chester Busby the Third, and so say hi, everybody.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chester. Yes, and glad to be on here. Thanks for inviting me.
And you have a show that the other two guests also are on, but it's a show that you mainly moderate, right? Which is Fanspeak.
Yeah, no, I created this about a month ago. I'm a moderator for in the chats for Mike S. Miller.
Okay.
And I was noticing that, while I'm doing that job that you have to do with those channels, and I noticed that I'm just sitting here typing to everyone, and I'm an older guy. They call us boomers, I guess. I mean, we're boomers, Art. So
yeah,
I don't understand why they do that. I mean, my parents are boomers, but all right, I guess I'm a boomer now. And Gary Shipman says hi. Hi, Gary.
Hey, Gary.
But I was sitting in the chats, and I noticed that I just keep typing these to everyone, and I didn't know what they sounded like. I didn't know what they looked like. And I also noticed that we had all these pros were talking about all these cool things, but the fans weren't interacting at all. So I went and I gathered people who had similar minds, and we started doing a show, and it's grown and grown and grown. And I'm really happy where it's gotten to, and we're having a lot of fun. We've interviewed all kind of people, including Art Thibert. We actually got to sit down and talk to him. Did you know that?
That was last Friday, right?
Oh, it was 2 Fridays ago.
Yeah, not our best show.
2 Fridays. Oh my god.
But yeah, that's the impetus, and it's just been a great time. And our goal is to every week have new fans as our guests, and we'd like to sit and talk to you pros and and we're just be fans and nerdy around you and ask those typical questions you guys would get at a con. But that's what Fanspeak is, and we starting to do all kind of things. And of course, we got Popefire's charity we're involved with. We got our own art contest that's going on, and yeah, no, it's a lot of fun, and I hope everybody comes over and joins us and gets on the channel with us and talks to us and talks to the people as well.
So that's Fanspeak, and that's Friday. I know you said 5 to 7, but what time zone is that?
We Fanspeak is Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But once a month we do a Saturday show so we can accommodate people.
Okay, I think that's why I have 5, because we're on the West Coast, so that's why I wrote that 5 then. Yeah. Okay.
And you guys can find the link to that in the description, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. We got a Pixel Trader over there too. He'll take care of that for sure.
Yeah, we had Pixel on yesterday. It's all blurring, but I think it was yesterday. He's a great guy.
Yeah, I know he is.
And so the last but not least, we have Booster. It is just Booster, right? We don't put the gold part in?
No, we don't. We don't put the gold in. I don't want to get sued.
He's Booster Bright.
Yeah, absolutely. Booster Silver, whatever it is. As long
Booster Boy.
Yeah,
That's
the boy. That one.
So, give us a little bit of intro on Booster Bright.
Well, I just get invited to things and I show up. I've made it this far through sheer nepotism and people like my accent. I'm Popefire's support animal, and sometimes I make jokes that land.
Yeah, you know what? That's good. That should be my mantra for my life. Is I just show up. That's how I feel a lot of times. So I definitely I can have some empathy there with you, Booster. I feel the same way. I just feel like I just show up sometimes.
Yeah. Here I am.
Yep. So do we have are we cooking in the chat right now, Taylor? Are we
Yes,
good?
we are. We got a good turnout. We have Humphrey Bear here too. We should have invited him, but next time.
Well,
we could have had the entire Fanspeak in
I know.
this chat.
I want to get Denali. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Denali.
Denali. I
We
want to
call
get
him Denali Lama. He's a very positive man.
That dude, when I was on your show, he knew all of my more I guess obscure jobs that I've done in the past, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is really in tune with the comics industry.
No, Denali is our living encyclopedia, and you can't have him.
Well, we're inviting him tomorrow.
Oh no, you shall not steal him. We need him.
I'm gonna seduce him with like old school 70s, 80s. Well, actually, it would be 80s, 90s artwork.
There you go. It'll probably work though. So sad.
We gotta
Denali
steal.
is amazing, actually.
We got to steal every member of Fanspeak one by one until this becomes Fanspeak.
What is
Well,
that?
there you go.
It's going to be me and Chester on our show just talking to each other like, so yeah, news, I guess.
No, we'll be fighting about what a pie is. That was what we'll be doing, Booster.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Well, my favorite thing is that you guys seem to all work in tandem, and that's pretty awesome because this thing just kind of happened organically. And then you guys just kind of started networking, and Popefire asked if she could bring some people on, and I think there's still going to be some people that may pop in, right, Popefire?
Maybe.
Hey.
I did invite Eric, crazy last name, but he was not online right now, so he may maybe.
Neenal Towski.
Are you playing with toys?
Okay.
I'm opening something I got from Amazon today.
Okay.
Oh man,
don't know.
live unboxing.
Goodness, there you go.
Roy.
I don't know why everyone has so much trouble with Eric's name. It's not a hard name. Neenal Towski. It's a very standard one.
Eric Lebowski.
No.
The Big
That's-
Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski. That's a great
Absolutely.
movie.
That was a great
I
movie.
say way wrong. Okay, so do you really expect me to say that correctly?
There will be a quiz later on who says his name right. Yeah. So I don't know. Should we try to focus this? Pope Fire, are you ready to talk about your charity and possibly your lifelong riff with Pope Raven?
You know what? I think I am. I think it's been a really emotional time. Pope Raven and I, we started off as just enemies, and then we became like lovers and stuff.
Oh my! This is Cold War stuff, man.
Hey! I
This is
I
getting
just want
mushy.
you to know, Chester, that 90% of the people on Fanspeak are my fandom.
Yes, I know. Thank you very much, Popefire. Thank you.
And they're all here in the chat.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
Hey,
there's a lot of
hey.
friends over there.
Oh yeah, wait. I should back up. If you guys, if Booster, Chester, and Popefire want to, can you tweet out that we're doing this live so maybe we can get some of the fans?
I'm already ahead of you.
Oh, sure, I can get both my followers in on this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we'd appreciate those
Booster
two
has two.
Oh
followers.
my god.
Oh, you guys are awesome. Yeah. So go ahead. I didn't want to derail this, but you were punching.
Okay, so
you were punching your lover, Raven, Pope Raven.
Yeah, you know, we started off as, you know, we hated each other, and then, you know, she drew some fan art, and, you know, I can't resist a good Starfire drawing. So, you know, we became lovers, and, you know, we're going through a messy divorce right now. She wants our kids, but I don't know if I can have that happen just yet.
You have to fight for him, man. You have to.
Poor
I know.
Booster.
You
Left
don't
out
want them
in the
to-
cold.
You don't want them
Kicked
to
to the
grow up as
curb.
Raven lovers.
I know, it's the absolute worst. But no, seriously though, Pope Raven is a lovely person. He's definitely a troll. It's just
Yeah, if you
Why
guys
is it
haven't been
cold now?
following these chats, there's been kind of a turf war between Raven fans and Starfire fans.
Yeah.
And the leaders are, of course, Popefire and Pope Raven. They show up in almost every chat, like
Taylor.
almost on a dime.
It's
Yes.
dedication. Like this.
I just got an idea. You know how we have the Versus show?
Oh my gosh, we gotta do Raven
Oh, there
versus
you go.
Starfire.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh, the whole
Oh,
history.
no, don't fan those flames.
Please don't. Yeah.
Well, they
Because
both
they
date,
show up.
yeah, they both date about the same time. I think they were created, you know, in DC lore about the same time.
Yeah, the same
And-
book.
Yeah, the same book. So they kind of parallel each other. So this could be perfect. Like everything's on the table. Like all the
Okay, are you asking?
the animated, the live action that they're doing now, everything.
Are you asking me to do like the debate? Because as much as I love Starfire could not beat Raven. Fandom wise, I do believe Starfire has better better sells and better product sells. I just know that she won't be able to beat Raven. So I mean, I'm one of the biggest Starfire fans, and
So
I'll
you're
admit to that.
Wait, you're already conceding that Raven is better as far as a
Comic.
fighter?
I mean, not as a fighter. Definitely with a warrior, with Corey's warrior race. If they went on hand-on-hand combat, Corey would definitely win every time.
But you just mean
Raven-
powers.
Yeah, power-wise, Raven, because I mean, Raven's got supernatural powers. So Corey's gonna go down without even really knowing what happened. Popefire, you're gonna love. Okay. Oh, Eric, you're here. Did I send you the? Sorry. This is why Booster is here, because I get so off track.
It's true.
It is true. It is true. Yes.
Yeah. I just
Supposed to put
get
on
so
track
hyper.
and I can do that, so
Yeah.
it's a miss.
But yeah, definitely power wise, Raven wins. And as much as I hate to admit that,
Pope Raven's never letting you that down, you know this.
I mean, Pope Raven doesn't know anything about Raven outside of like 2 episodes of Teen Titans.
I don't even understand what the argument's about. Superboy is most certainly the best Teen Titan anyway.
Whoa. All the Beast Boy fans in the chat are going to be incredibly sad right now.
Yeah.
What, all 3 of them?
Yeah, if anybody says Beast Boy, they're getting kicked.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
I'm actually wearing a Beast Boy shirt at the moment. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wait, is that Young Justice Beast Boy?
No, it's Rebirth.
Oh, man. I was going to say, that's an obscure shirt.
Yeah, I know. Rebirth is one of my favorite comic runs for Titans, outside of New Teen Titans.
So not the one that Taylor and I worked on, which was the New 52?
Do you want my honest opinion on New 52?
You know, why not?
The art
Goodness.
on it was beautiful, but
Thank
the
you.
characters and the story and everything about it was bad. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have read every Teen Titans issue except New 52, which was when I decided to drop comics.
Ooh.
And a lot of that had to do with, and it had nothing to do with the art because the art on it was just fantastic. Like that was the only reason I even read as much as I did. But Red Hood and the Outlaws ruined it for me.
Oh, yeah.
Teen Titans ruined it for me. I don't know if you designed that Raven costume, but I was offended as a Starfire fan.
The
You mean-
manga looking Raven with like the face mask.
Yeah, her non-costume.
That was bad.
Yeah.
What was all the blowback on the New 52 anyway? I remember when that came out. I read all the books. I was actually one of my most into comics time. I liked what was going on, and then all this blowback came, and everyone hated it. And I was like, "What's the problem? What did everyone hate about New 52?"
I think what happened is there were certain things that they announced that they were going to do. They were going to do one and dones, and I think they got a lot of people excited about just one and done storylines where there weren't a lot of dangling plot lines, and there wasn't a lot of lore that people had to, know to get in. So they kind of advertised it as a good entry for the DCU. And then as soon as the what was it, the Night of Owls? What was the
Court of
Court
Owls.
of Owls hit, then DC just went, oh, okay, here's our cash cow. And then they had a bunch of crossovers, and they had a bunch of epic storylines and stuff like that. So I think that's where they first jumped the shark. And then the later was that they were changing the characters too radically on the fly. So like I started off New 52 Deathstroke. And I think before the New 52 was canceled and went into what was the next DC? I forget what it's called now.
Wasn't it
DCU?
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
spelled YOU. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think there were 3 or 4 different versions of Deathstroke in that amount of time, in that 3,
Yes.
in that 3 years.
Wow.
Like there were 3 completely different characters, and Deathstroke wasn't the only line of books that did that. There were a lot of others as well. So I think it was just like the lack of follow through on a lot of the characters and some of the early promises that they had made. Because I do believe that people want more one and dones. They don't want these storylines that keep going and these massive crossovers. But it seems like they're going back to that each and every time. Like that's their go-to. So I think, for me, I think that's the main things I've heard. Because I think, like Popefire said, it wasn't the visual creative people. I think there was a lot of like on high, like people making decisions, like corporate decisions for how they were going to run the line of comics, and the individual creators didn't have a lot to say about it, I think.
And they destroyed the Harley Quinn that every girl on Earth loved.
Oh, they did. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mike Barron said the same thing last week about we need more one and dones. Yeah.
As a Starfire fan and as a Teen Titans fan, they screwed up some of my favorite Titans. I mean, they made Beast Boy red.
That was weird.
I swear to God, Red Hood and the Outlaws was supposed to have Blackfire because they wrote Starfire like Blackfire.
Yes,
the
exactly.
complete opposite of her character. And I was reading it, and I was like, this would be perfect for Blackfire, not for Starfire.
That's a good observation.
Yeah, they made her a party girl.
Yeah.
No,
she was a bad girl. Like she just kind of had, like, her morals weren't really good, and that she didn't always do the right thing. But they made it seem like, oh, she was just innocent. But wasn't she like, she was like promiscuous and yeah. And
the other characters in there, like I have a little worry that I just got out of the box, but the other characters weren't the problem. It felt like they were supposed to put in Blackfire and they put Starfire instead, and they made Blackfire seem like the good guy in Starfire's arc. And I'm sure a lot about Starfire's character arc with her sister. Blackfire is not a good person.
Right.
She was the reason why Starfire was a slave for 6 years. She was the reason why Starfire was a victim of rape. And then to kind of sit there and be like, well, Blackfire is the good person in this scenario is kind of bad.
And actually, like, Starfire's morality was written really awkward and weird in the sense that she was kind of doing some gray area stuff, but they made it seem like she just didn't quite understand the culture. Like she was bringing her culture in, so she was a little bit promiscuous, and she was a little bit I don't know, not quite on the up and up. Let's just say.
Yeah, they went from like culturally naive to just being stupid. It's like they're not the same thing.
Well, they gave her the memory of a goldfish.
Yeah. That's true. She didn't remember.
A little bit promiscuous.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so in the first 3 books, and I'm not 100% sure on this, but in the first 3 books, or at least the first 5, she's already slept with 3 guys. That's not normal for Starfire, because yes, Starfire has had sexual relationships, but it was never just to have a sexual relationship until like recent years in like 2000s when they just were writing her to put her in random books. But when she was first introduced by Marv, like yes, she was very like open with her sexuality, but it was never like I'm just gonna sleep with whoever I want because I can. It was, you know, Tamaranians love people, and if I love somebody, I'm gonna sleep with them, you know, stuff like that. So it was a little weird to kind of take every good quality of Starfire and then like take it away. And they did that with all the other Titans, because Beast Boy like. All right, let's talk about the charity, because I can rant about this forever.
I'm sorry.
Well, we have somebody new in the chat, and I don't recognize. I recognize your icon, but not your face. So who do we have here?
What's up, Art? This is Eric Minotowski.
Hey, Eric, what's up?
Nothing much, man.
Hey,
I've been with you guys. I was on the like drawn a cord stuff with Mike, so I was on there, but you never saw my face. So
okay, yeah, because I recognize the icon. So welcome, and yeah, this is where we're kind of supporting Popefire's charity here.
awesome.
Yes, Eric helps with that. He's actually the guy that's the treasurer.
So very good.
All the financial stuff.
This works out.
Awesome.
Yeah, so if you want, here's the spotlight. Go for it.
Cool. For me?
Yeah, to talk about, well, I guess introduce yourself first, Eric, and then we can go into the charity. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So my name is Eric Minotowski again. I'm an artist, but Popefire, contacted me about helping out with the fundraiser, and I thought it was a great idea, a great way to get people who want to get comics but they can't for financial reasons, and I thought it was a really wonderful idea. So I told her I would help her so she didn't have to do everything. So yeah, I'm the treasurer. I set up a link through PayPal where people can donate money, and then we'll just designate the funds as we get people coming in and saying, hey, this is my situation. I'd really like to get Black and White or Lone Star or whatever it is, and then we'll purchase those books for them. And I don't know if you've seen it on yours, Art. I know we purchased one of yours, but it'll come up as Comics Titans fundraiser. So
okay,
awesome.
I keep my eye out on that. So one of the things is Hack Shack Studios, which is pretty much my wife, Taylor, and myself. We're going to put a care package together for you guys. And so do you auction off that stuff? Is that how you do it?
Okay.
So you make money and buy
No. Okay, so I wanted the fundraiser to benefit everybody involved. I wanted it to benefit the creators, the consumers, and the people that were donating. So what I did was, with my own money, I went out and bought several different prizes. And some of the prizes have been donated. Like Eric has donated a lovely Teen Titans print, which I have a copy of right there.
I saw that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I have several different prizes, like a Batman statue.
Nice.
I don't have all the prizes on my desk because I would run out of room, but I've also got like one of the big prizes, like a Bombshell statue. Everything from DVDs to pop figures to statues to books. The first appearance of Nightwing, that one's actually from my own personal collection that I have never ever opened. So I wanted to create something that everybody would benefit from, and I wanted it to be to encourage people to donate, but also if they do donate, they do have a chance to win something. And I believe right now we have more prizes than we do donators. So now we have raised $300, which is really impressive. But we do still have a lot more prizes than we do donators. So.
Okay, so how it works is that if we donate something, to you, then then you have do you bid? How do you get the money for that?
No, you buy a raffle ticket, and the raffle tickets are one for $3 or two for $5. And every time you buy a raffle ticket, it may take me a few days because I send out personal emails with personal messages on them. But we send you an email with your raffle tickets on it, and then on October 31st on Chester's channel, we will do the drawing for all of the prizes.
Okay, and then with the money, what you do is you buy the Comicsgate books, and then you give them to needy comic book readers out there, basically for free, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's very, very cool. Is it just the Comicsgate books, or is it more other books, or what?
I really wanted to help the Comicsgate creators, especially ones like some of the smaller ones like Critias, who I think is an absolute doll. He's a lovely, lovely person. But I wanted to sort of help the Comicsgate community because I did mod a handful of Comicsgate groups, and I was when I was the lead admin at Lone Star, I was offering up for people that couldn't afford Lone Star. I was like, I'll go and like buy some digital copies, and then I realized there were more people asking for copies than I could help. So I was like, okay, we need to set up a program to sort of help people, because I know that there are a lot of people that are going through rough times. That there are a lot of people that do kind of need help, and I know comic books aren't going to solve all those issues, but it's going to brighten up somebody's day.
Yeah,
and,
for 20 minutes, a half hour when they're reading the adventure, definitely. It's escapism at best, and I think these comics are great. All the Comicsgate guys are putting out some amazing books. So
definitely.
My gosh, you guys are amazing. This is so heartwarming. I just came into this like 2 months ago, and this community is absolutely flooring me. I've never seen such generosity and such a tight-knit group of people that just sincerely want to see each other succeed. Like there's nobody ever like we're all kind of competing in a way, but we're also like lifting each other up at the same time. And like I've been doing this. How long have I been doing this for, Taylor?
36 years.
Years now. Yeah, so I've never seen this kind of generosity in this industry before. I mean, I can honestly say that.
Well, I think the one thing about Comicsgate is that we want to be like our heroes. That the whole reason we're upset is because our heroes aren't acting like heroes anymore. And there was a time when I wasn't even able to afford food, and I was really depressed. I was going through a really hard time, and my friends would bring me. They'd go to a dint can store and bring me these little cans of soup. Like really old, like dented cans of soup, and I was really thankful for it. And even when I was going through that rough time, I was really thankful that I had people there to sort of help me, and they would help me when I really needed it. And I kind of want to give back to other people like that, because at the end of the day, I just want to help people. I just want to be like my heroes. And I know comic books isn't going to solve all the world issues, but when you get a helping hand when you're going through a hard time, it does help, and it does make you realize that not everything is wrong in the world.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense.
Yeah, positive media.
Yeah,
definitely.
And I tell my daughter this all the time. She's older now, but I used to say it's the little things in life. So when somebody opens a door for you at a restaurant, thank them, because they don't have to do that. So any act of kindness is kind of a plus in our society, and we should never, ever overlook that fact, because people don't have to do these things. And there are a lot of people that kind of expect it or think that it's their right to, a lot of these things. And so I think it's great that there's people like you that are the people that are holding the doors open, the people that are saying something kind to somebody, just all those little nice things that, a lot of people take for granted. But like I was saying, like the way, we brought up our daughter, my wife and I, that we teach her, don't take those things for granted. Those are the good parts of life. Those people don't have to do those nice things for you. So anytime somebody lets you in on the freeway, or anytime somebody, smiles at you and says something kind to you, always just take that to heart, because trust me, they don't have to. And there's a lot of people out there that aren't that kind, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen, brother.
Definitely agree to that one.
Hey, Kenzie,
I'm-
can I show you something real quick?
Yeah, definitely.
You're gonna love this. But so this will be your new
Aw.
New-
there it is.
Awesome.
still a work in progress, but she's got the hat on and the jacket, and yeah, it's coming out really cool. So I wanted to show that to you.
That is sweet. That is really
That
good.
is sweet.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. New avatar.
cool.
Yeah,
And
Pope
actually,
Raven made my old one.
something that I would add to what Popefire is saying is that for the charity raffle that she's doing, and we're supporting it on Fanspeak, that's going to be on October 31st. We're going to have a special show, and we're going to have the raffle on the show. We're also going to be doing our arcade test that we're doing on Fanspeak as well. So just so you guys all know the date. It's on October 31st, and Pixel Trader is dropping the link so you guys can come over and support that.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, you guys. And we're gonna put that in our link as well, right, Taylor?
Yes, for sure. Be there, everybody.
Be there, be squared. The 31st. You heard it here. Okay. Well, what did you guys have? Anything else? We got the charity there.
Yes, one more thing, because I always forget to do this, and people always send me emails. Okay, if you do want to donate, you go to the Comic Titans fundraiser Facebook group, and you have to hit the Shop Now button. Because I always forget to say this, but you just have to go hit the Shop Now button. It'll pull up the PayPal link, and then tickets are 1 for 3 or 2 for 5, and we do have a lot of cool prizes, and you guys can check out some of them on the Facebook page, and we have so much cool stuff, and I'm so excited to send this out. And we're gonna try and send all of it worldwide. So if you do live in Canada or you do live in like
New
another,
Zealand.
yes, I will try my best to get it to you, and all of that will be coming from my pocket, because all the charity money is going to hopefully. I know that Facebook is probably going to tax it, but we will be taking all that money and putting it towards people that do need comics, and we're hoping that we can build up enough money to where we can keep it going for a while, and then like every 6 months do another raffle, if that's
Okay. I'm not sure I can, because I want to send you guys a care package. So I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get it to you before the 31st. But there's going to be another raffle after that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll put together a bunch of signed stuff, some prints, and maybe some Super Sons signed books and different things that are around here. And we'll send them your way.
To me if you like.
What was that, Booster?
I said you can just send it to me if you like.
Okay.
No, Super Sons is like the coolest book ever.
That is a really good book. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll try to I'm not sure how many issue 1s I have left, but I'll try to get an issue 1, 2, and 3 at least, and then I have prints, and I'll try to find I know I have a Nightwing print, so I think that's the closest I have to any Titans characters right now.
Yeah,
So-
I tried to go to your shop to find some Teen Titans stuff, and I couldn't, and I was disappointed.
Is the Nightwing one still up?
I couldn't find, like, I was having a really hard time with your shop. I had to have Pixel help me. I felt like Chester. It's like I feel really old here.
Well, wait. Now I have to know. Like, is
Thank
it
you.
hard to maneuver? Is it hard to is it or?
I couldn't find like the actual shop part. But I was also running off of 20 minutes of sleep, so that may have had a lot to do with it.
Were you on the mobile by chance?
No,
Or
I was on my laptop.
Oh, okay.
That's actually something we were talking about the other day. On the Fanspeak, we tried to not only have fun and talk about all the IndieGoGos and stuff, but we try to also offer solutions to the pros. Ideas that what are the fans thinking, right? It's like a free market research, And one of the things we were talking about is that a lot of you pros, you have these shops, but they're not easy to find. They're not easy to navigate. It would actually be good if you guys were had that more tightly organized. I don't know about yours in particular, Art. I haven't seen it yet, but we were talking about that the other day, and I think it's a good point.
Yeah, I think the whole site is pretty much the shop, right, Taylor? So each one of the tabs is basically the store. It's a product you can buy.
Yeah, there's kind of just like sections on the top bar, and the link is in the description if you guys want to check out the Art by Thibert site. But yeah, like when you click the top, there's sections like commissions. I think there's prints and books, and those are all shops that you go directly to when you click those.
And then you just check out at the end. So if there's anybody that does have a problem with maneuvering through it, let us know. Like Chester says, I mean, this is good market research. So
And we can
should add a
reassess.
search button.
yeah, we should take advantage of this.
I'm looking through and I can't see any booster gold. Is this a glitch on the website?
Oh, goodness gracious.
Booster Gold stole his powers, man.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah, but he used them for good.
That's true, he did.
Ish.
For profit.
For profit.
Maybe.
Still save the universe and the multiverse.
He does have one of the cooler costume designs. I don't know how he pulls off the high collar and the goggles, but man, he makes it work.
I love it. It's great.
But he's killing everybody now, so he's a bad guy. He's a villain.
Oh, comic books.
Oh,
Ain't that just the way?
Yeah.
Well, I wonder how Booster feels about that.
I don't want.
I'm sure. No comment. Yeah.
No comment. No comment. Yeah. So, very good. Like I said, so you have the raffle every month, every 30 days. Is that?
No. Okay, I would go broke if we had it every month. I was thinking more every 6 months. That way I can kind of start saving up again.
Have you guys thought about possibly instead of just raffling, let's just say hypothetically, I donate these objects to you. I wouldn't mind if you maybe sold them on eBay. I don't know if that's cool or not, but do they have auctions? They do have where you can sell things to bids, right, on eBay.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't. Would you guys think that you maybe would do better as far as generating revenue that way if you made them available on eBay?
I know this sounds kind of weird, but I kind of wanted to keep the fundraiser as pure as possible and sort of as fair as possible as well. And I thought the raffle kind of seemed a little bit more fair than just auctioning stuff off.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
I know that probably sounds crazy. I just kind of want it to be as pure as it possibly can. And as translucent, blah, 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 blah. Booster, say that word for me.
Transparent.
Yes, there we go. Sorry, I cannot say words for some reason. Yeah, I want it to be as transparent as possible because I don't want people to go, well, they're just trying to scam. And, when in reality we just want to help as many people as possible. And that's actually the reason why I asked Eric to be the treasurer, because I was I think it'll be weird if I'm started this, I founded it, and then I'm also handling the money. Be really really edgy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And if something goes wrong, we just blame Eric. That's easy.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. No, it was just a suggestion. Like you guys obviously have put more thought into it than I have. I was just trying to figure out a way that I could help get you guys a little bit more revenue. That's all.
I mean, just promoting us is probably the best way. And I also kind of want it to be not just the revenue, because that is beneficial, but I'd also like more people to kind of be yeah, if they need help, to definitely reach out to us, because I know from modding Lone Star that there were several people that needed help. It's just sort of embarrassing to sort of come out and say it. But if you do fill out the form, nobody else will see your name except for me. Nobody else will see any of the other stuff outside of the form committee, but they won't see any of your personal information. They're just gonna read your story, and then we all come together and we kind of talk about it, and then we send it over to Eric, and even Eric doesn't see your name, so there's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's all kind of set up to where we each have different parts of the fundraisers. That way it's not all one person has power.
Yeah, it minimizes any potential corruption, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
and I won't do anything with anyone's personal information.
That's also why Booster has no connection to it whatsoever. We don't want any corruption.
Yeah.
No, Booster's actually on the form committee. He does help me go over the forms. I have 3 people in the form committee, and then we have Wasp as sort of a backup person. But they kind of help me go over the stories, and we kind of determine does this person really need help, or are they just trying to scam us? Because when people donating money, you definitely don't want it to go into people that really don't need it. They're just trying to get free books.
Yeah.
I really want it to be for people that really really need help. People down on their luck, or college students that just can't afford to. I want it to be kind of as pure as possible, you know. And I know that's really naive thinking, and I know that it's not always going to be that way, because there's always going to be people that are trying to kind of scam and stuff. And I know that it's really naive to think, you know, that we can stop all of it. But you know, I want it to be really pure, and I really want it to be transparent, and I want to be as honest as possible. I mean, that's the whole reason I turned my webcam on.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think that for every, like, say, one person that's going to scam you, you know, because that does happen, it's life. But maybe there's 10 people you reach. You know, you don't know what the percentage is yet. So, but you have to try, right? You still do
definitely.
it. Yeah. So there might be that one person, but we can't let that ruin everything, because there's all the other people that benefit and are entertained by the comic books that you provide to them. So
Well,
I think it's great.
And we've already helped several people. But you know, when I went into it, I told Eric, it's like, even if we only help one person, we helped one person. And I'm really thankful for the opportunity, and for you know, the community really stepping up and helping us, because you know, people are really excited for it. And you know, the comic fans in general tend to be pretty decent people, and it's been really cool, because I've got to meet really cool people too. Chuck Dixon, I got to meet Chuck Dixon, guy.
That's awesome.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to meet him.
That's because you're a sidekick.
Booster.
Sidekick. Oh man, that's a burn. So, do you want to talk any more about your rival with this Pope Raven?
I don't like picking on weaker opponents.
Too late
Shade
for that.
is being thrown.
No, I've been trying to, because you know, he's actually like one of the funniest people I've ever met. And you know, people are like, "Oh, is Pope Raven bothering you?" I was like, "No, like, it's all just a giant joke." Yeah, Pope Raven is definitely a really good artist too. So if you guys do want to check out Pope Raven, definitely follow them on Twitter. You know, if you do enjoy trolling a whole bunch of Starfire fans, Pope Raven is definitely your go-to person.
Okay, hey Taylor, did you get a messenger from Pixel Trader? He said it went away. It just kind of was on my screen real quick.
Oh yeah, I got it handled.
Okay, cool. All right. So, gosh, I kind of had some black and white stuff prepared, but now I feel like I'm self-serving here, since you guys are doing all these really generous things. How do you guys feel about talking about maybe some Comicsgate and some projects that you like, and possibly some black and white?
I hear the old Nazis.
Yeah.
Yes, I heard that.
Yeah, and they just hate everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't help people. We don't do charity stuff. You know, we don't do those.
I heard they hate women, and that all of them are Russian bots.
That's right. Yeah.
And something about sock puppets, like we all are, especially has sock puppet accounts. Like, you know, he's just infiltrating and bringing everybody down with his sock puppets.
Apparently, I make up 90% of Mike S. Miller's live chats. Like, all of those accounts, they're me.
They are you, yeah. Yeah, because you know, we shouldn't be so mean about sock puppets. I mean, that's the only joy that Booster has.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we're getting down to the truth. So you guys are the sock puppets.
Oh no.
It was me all along. That was the twist.
Oh gosh. That's hilarious. Did you guys see when Doug TeNapel did the little sock puppet on his hand, like he did the little sodite? He drew.
I saw him wash his hands.
Ooh, well there you go. No, he drew that Senior Wences or whatever, that character where he draws the face on his hand and then uses his thumb as the mouth. Yeah. Doug did that. It was hilarious. Yeah. We should all do that right now.
No.
It takes so much preparation.
All right, I'm gonna do it, but I don't have a camera and nothing, so it's gonna be a bit weird. It's just gonna be me sitting here by myself with a little face on my hand. It's just.
Okay, no, that's far enough. No more. That's enough. Yeah, no more.
Well, boosters will have like goggles for eyes. Like it'll just be Yeah, booster goggles.
I can
We don't
probably grab
see
one of
that
the
they-
things from my desk and use one of those.
I was just being facetious. I didn't mean it. Yeah. So why don't you guys give us some of your take on like Comicsgate and maybe how you feel about the movement? That would be interesting to hear what you guys have to say about that or think.
Cool.
So let's start with Booster. We
Or
lost-
not.
we lost Booster.
Booster
Yes,
always
I
fails
like
out at the worst
Comicsgate.
time.
Playing with his hand
It's
again. Oh
cool.
no.
Oh man,
I was drawing the face. I said I would.
he's a man of his word.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you feel about all this? And what were you buying maybe before the Comicsgate books?
Ooh, I'm mostly a DC boy, so a lot of the DC Rebirth stuff, and the only Marvel thing I really purchase is Daredevil. But I just kind of noticed all this stuff seeping in with, I think I was buying Civil War 2, and I noticed just stuff with Captain Marvel being weird, and DNC popped up in my YouTube recommends one day, I don't know how, and I just started watching it one by one. It all resonated with me. And
Very cool.
yeah, that's about it, really.
So what are some of your favorites? And just make sure you don't leave out Black and White at the top of your list as far as the Comicsgate books.
Oh, yeah, Black and White is definitely my #1 book, I gotta say.
Yes.
Out
Yes.
of all of them. Absolutely. As soon as I get around to backing it, it'll be my favorite, I bet.
I love your honesty.
Also, I'm loving the look of Bigfoot Bill. That looks really fun, and anything Kane White's on, his art is awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
So how about you, Chester?
Well, there's so many things to say about Comicsgate, but I guess I would choose this to say, there's an ongoing debate. One of the big things that draws us from our point of view, not what they say, is that the art has really reduced, the storytelling has reduced. It's very shallow. We just did a review of Craven's Last Hunt on a 2-part series on Fanspeak, and one of the things that was cool about that book was it's such a deep book. They're telling so many things, they're doing so many things in that story, and it really resonates with you. And over the years, I've read that series, this 6-part series, several times. And every time I read it, I find something new in it as I get older. And that's how you write a comic book. And we're not getting that these days. And that's what we were complaining about. And they, of course, from their point of view, they want to say that we just hate this or we hate that. But it comes down to we want better comic books. And a lot of people will say that, well, they're just lazy. So they're just taking the old characters and switching them. I actually don't think it's laziness. There might be a little bit of that. I think I think it's a bit more insidious. I feel that they're trying deliberately to ruin things. Now, do they think in their heart that they're actually helping? Maybe. But all they're doing is hurting themselves and hurting us. And
Well, let me back up for a minute. So do you think that's a conscious decision on these publishers' part that that's how they're thinking?
I think that as you were mentioning earlier, with Suits making decisions about money, I think there's a disconnect between them and the actual creators. So I'm not sure if that is going on at the upper levels, but it seems like it must be because they're certainly losing money. But from the creator's point of view, most certainly, I don't think this is just laziness and them just taking and switching something instead of trying to create their own and create something new. Mike Miller said that he thinks it's just greed, meaning they have their characters, but they want to save it for themselves to do their own crowdfunding, their own opportunity later. Maybe that's part of it too. But no, I think it's insidious. I think they're intentionally doing so. And the reason I say that is because if this was isolated here inside of comic books, well, then maybe there could be another argument. But we're seeing this happening across the whole Western world. Video games, board games, tabletop games, anything, and it seems anything particularly that men like is being attacked. Now, I don't want to get into that conversation, but they're literally trying to twist and shift things. And I think this. I'm an English teacher, and I think one of the things I've noticed in the American curriculum and inside the education departments in America is that they truly believe that young boys are broken and they need to fix them. Now, this might sound odd to you, but they really believe that. And there's an agenda going on inside the education departments in America, Britain, and other countries that are trying to correct boys. And I think this thinking is going on. It's like that's why I said I think they might believe they're actually helping. It might not be that they're actually just trying to destroy something. They might actually believe they're trying to help something. But the end result is just breaking things, and we can see this across the board. Which is one of the reasons why everyone comes to Comicsgate, is because we're looking for a place, a shelter from the slings and arrows of the modern culture, the zeitgeist of today. And it's going to get worse, I think, before it gets better.
Well, so you think that there's a lot of well-minded people, like that they're thinking that society would be better if the toxicity of masculinity was to be played down a notch, and that maybe I guess more of a feminine way of looking at life is the key to a better society. Is that kind of?
I think there's some of that going on, and then I think there's others who are bitter and angry, and they're taking advantage of that general concept. Yeah, so I think this is a lot of bad actors, and we've had some conversations. Like Ben Hennessy, I remember saying on a live stream not too long ago that he went and he did research. Ben Hennessy's with Cautionary Comics, by the way, and he did some research to try to find out exactly who is running all this Twitter hate and all this anger that's coming at it. I mean, how many people did it really come down to? And he went and dug it down to about 10 people. So what you have is about 10 people inside the, what I guess we would call the SJW comics group that are actually pushing all of this. And then they have all these followers and hangers on that are just joining in. So I think you have some real bad actors who have very, very malicious intention. And then I think you have a lot of other people that have caught into this modern zeitgeist that we need to get rid of masculinity. We need to make everything super feminine. And there's nothing wrong with femininity. Femininity is important and necessary, but we need masculinity too. Now, this conversation is getting way past comic books, but I think it's related.
Yeah, but I just think that there just has to be a mutual respect, because instead of trying to dominate the other, whether it's sex or your religion or your creed, your skin color, whatever it is, I think as long as there's just a mutual respect and just a tolerance, then it's okay. The thing I noticed the most is that, and that's the reason I'm here, is that the other side just seems to be very, very intolerant, and almost is crying out for like blood. Like enough isn't enough. Like it's not enough to just say your piece and then move on. It's like that they have to crucify that person, and then even sometimes that's not enough. I don't know. I don't want to go off on too much, but I think you guys understand where I'm going with it. Like that's the problem, because there's always going to be people that disagree. There's always going to be people in the world that don't see things eye to eye. And unless as a society we can try to tolerate, try to listen, try to work with each other, even though we have differences of opinion, then maybe, just maybe, as a society we're doomed, because you can't have it all one way and you cannot have it all the other. It is the yin, the yang, it is the black and white, it is all those things. It's all those things combined that we need, and it just takes a little bit of tolerance of each other. You don't have to agree, but you just don't try to destroy that other person for their point of view, or try to shut them down just because they have a differing point of view than you do. And that's what I'm seeing, and that's why I'm here, talking to you guys right now and everything, because I do think that's a sad place, for society in general, that we can't even go, oh well, the regime right now, the Trump administration is only going to be in for 4 years, so then we'll have another election and we can vote. But it's like, no, he has to go now. Well, what has he done? We just don't like him. Oh, okay, that's a reason. That's not a reason. The other side tolerated, 8 years of Obama. So why shouldn't it be, tolerated or respected that the other side as well has their time. And then isn't maybe the combination of the two point of views can lead to a better solution? Like, what if we both talked? What if both sides talked? And what if we just took the best ideas from both sides and then just went with the best ideas, not the left, not the right, but just the best ideas, and then incorporate those into society and then worked forward, from there. I used to think that's what we were striving for, but now it just, I don't know. It's a scary place.
It is. Absolutely.
Yeah. So Taylor, talk about something else. I'm getting a little sad here.
Well, we could show off some new black and white art.
How would you guys feel about that? A little black and white preview?
Do it.
Please, I loved your little lead up into that, by the way. Things are not as so black and white. That was really good.
Well, that's kind of one of the concepts and one of the ideas that we're playing with, that the ends don't justify the means, that the best ideas are the ones that should be, chosen, that the ends don't always justify the means, and level-headedness should prevail.
No.
Go ahead.
I will disagree with you, Chester, on one thing. I don't think that they're just, because I felt very isolated as a female reader. When I got my first comic, it was a library copy of Judas Contract that somebody had donated to a Goodwill, like a poor man's Goodwill. One of the things that drew me in was the character relationships. And, for women, and I don't know if this is just for me, because, I've talked to other women, they've sort of had, like, the same feeling as I have, but they've written out relationships out of comics, and they've written out meaningful relationships. And that was one of the things that, even as a young child, I really enjoyed reading. And it had nothing really to do with romance, just, relationships in general. And now, like, it feels like they've isolated their actual female readers and trying to go for people that aren't really interested in it. Sorry,
Yeah,
that was
why?
just my...
No, but why? But that's a good point. But why did they do that?
Well, they claim that they want more female readers, but then they go and isolated the few that they had.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's really weird. Like, I don't know. I'm assuming that they wrote off relationships because, it's SJWs, and SJWs have no idea how to have a relationship, so why would they be able to write about a relationship? It's just, I was an 8-year-old looking for comics that were 16, 17 years older than I was. And, it definitely feels like comics qualities have declined just so quickly and so just terribly, just at just such a quick rate. And I am socially more left leaning, but even I don't like politics that heavy handed in my comics, and I especially don't like them when they pretty much force it down your throat and then tell you if your favorite character does happen to be Starfire, that you are sexist for liking that character. You're helping the male gaze. I just find, like, the whole thing, because they've isolated both their loyal female readers and their loyal male readers, trying to chase after a ghost audience.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah, well, they've thrown the baby out with the bathwater, haven't they?
Yeah. I think there's in society as a general whole, I think there's a morality shift, and I think that the thing is, like, it sounds so conspiratorial. It sounds so like like this is kind of crazy Orwellian talk. I can't believe we're even having these discussions in a public forum, because they seem so crazy. It seems like a sci-fi type adventure story. But the thing is, I do think, I said this for years, that morality right now is up for grabs. And I think there's a lot of people that are just redefining morality in a general way. So to get back to your Popefire, your point is that wholesome men and women relationships is part of that morality that's up for grabs. So it's like, it's almost to the point of somebody saying that's corny. a man and a woman kind of respecting each other and trying to get along. You know, there is a little bit of a power struggle there because that's traditionally like, you know, like the romance thing has a little bit of a power struggle, like, you know, and the power struggle I think is about, it's about respect. So the man does his little power, you know, trip, and then the woman does his, so that you can find like somewhere in between, like what I was talking about, the right and the left. So it's kind of a traditional power struggle. And then if you can mutually respect each other, then you can have a relationship. And that's what a lot of those stories were based on in a really general way. They obviously have an attraction, and then they kind of are at each other for a little bit. And then there's a mutual respect that comes out of it. And then they figure out whether they can continue in a relationship after that or not. And
Well,
I think well, go ahead.
I am not biased at all, and I do not have a favorite couple at all. But no, one of my favorite things about, and I'm sorry that I always talk about Starfire, but that's what I mostly know, is, you know, Starfire and Robin are a perfect example of that. There's a lot of compromise there. It was definitely one of my favorite relationships, just because there has to be a compromise, because they're from different cultures, and yeah, I definitely agree with you there.
Yeah, that's
they're
the
not,
power struggle. That's the power
Yeah.
struggle. And then they're from two different worlds, and then they got to kind of find a middle ground. They have to find a universal truth, something that binds them together. And then, you know, the things that they disagree on, then they learn to tolerate those, because the greater good, which is them together, is what's more important. And I think these are metaphoric, and these used to be stories that were constant in comics, because they're in a way, they're metaphoric to just life and society and just getting along. Like you said, like if you take an earthling and an alien, and if you can somehow get those two to connect and have a really good relationship, then there's hope for society, right? Like that's a metaphor. But it seems like with morality up for grabs, those metaphors are just going, like Chester said, out with the bathwater, the baby with the bathwater. You know, those things they just get thrown out the door. And then I just don't. The thing I don't understand, the main thing I don't understand is that the people that are signing off on saying that this altruism and these type of stories is corny, because I think that's where it comes from. I think that we live in a more cynical society than maybe ever before, and I think that the marketing aspects of these are like people saying, "Oh, Starfire and Dick Grayson, oh, that's corny. We can't have this epic love story. There has to be some kind of like, I guess, contemporary cynicism that has to enter into their relationship. Otherwise, people won't accept it. People won't think it's, you know, cool." And I just want to, there's this one point that I think there's a TV show called Modern Family. And I think what Modern Family did as far as branding and to try to market in a way to try to bridge the gap is that they have 3 different families, and each one represents a different mindset and morality. And I'm not overly praising that show, but I'm just saying that you have an older guy, you have, you know, a gay couple, and then you have like this traditional family, you know, man, woman, you know, kids, and that type of thing. And so each one gets their perspective on how like morality works and how relationships and how families work. So I think it's an attempt to try to be as fair as possible in a contemporary cynical world. You know what I mean? Because they give the 3 perspectives, and they don't always give you a resolve. They don't always say this is right and this is wrong. They kind of leave it up to you. But I think at least it's an attempt to address kind of the morality shift that's going on. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but if you did a Brady Bunch story or something that's obviously, once again, black and white with the morality, then it seems so corny by a contemporary standards. If you did an Andy Griffith show now, you know, it would almost seem, oh, well, that's corny. That's too simple. Well, what is right and wrong is wrong. Why do we have to overly complicate things? You know what I mean?
Well, Modern Family is funny too, right?
Yeah, I mean, they get into, yeah, obviously, but it's kind of it's a modern sitcom. It's a modern kind of like a family show, you know, like I just brought the Brady Bunch because it's the only one, but they had like Family Ties and different, you know, shows like that were kind of family oriented, that you could watch with your family, and that there usually was some kind of moral lesson or some kind of way of dealing with contemporary situations, how to raise your kids, you know, what's right, what's wrong, those type of things.
I actually think we could use an Andy Griffin right now, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Keep in mind, Andy Griffin was a widower raising a son by himself, right? Well, he had Aunt B, but I mean, it wasn't traditional show. It was actually, I think, maybe controversial at the time, and his wife had died, right? So he was all by himself.
Yeah, but I just mean the morality of it. I just remember one episode, if you guys can indulge me on another tangent here, but one of it was you know how like there's kind of spoiled behavior, like indulged behavior, and you see that a lot in contemporary, but it's always existed in society. Okay, so this one kid gets everything. He's got a brand new bike, and he's talking to Opie, and then Opie's like, "You got a brand new bike? How did you get that? It's not Christmas. It's not your birthday." And he goes, "Oh, well, I just threw a fit, and then my parents bought me this bike." And so he's like, "That works?" And he goes, "Yeah." And so then the kid manipulates Opie and then makes Opie feel for him. Like he does the sob story and he starts crying. And then Opie's like, "What's wrong? What did I say? I'm sorry." And then the kid goes, "Ah, gotcha." So it's a manipulation to get what he wants. So then he says, "You should try it." And so then Opie gets the idea, goes, tries it on his dad. And then his dad's like, "What's wrong with you? What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, well, blah, blah, blah." He gives the sob story, and he's like, "Oh, well, just whatever." He gives a simple solution. And then so it doesn't work for Opie. So then he finally, like the last result is always jump on the floor and start slamming your fist against the floor, like you're crying, like, "Ah," that kind of having a fit. And then he's just like, "Opie, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing this?" And so then he finally gets to the truth. And then he says, "Well, that's just not how you do things." And so then the moral tale comes out of that. He says, "We could give you everything. We could do all these things for you, but you have to earn things in life. You have to work towards them. That's why we have you do chores. That's why we have you do all these things. So you don't take things for granted. And you don't manipulate people. Like all the basic pitfalls of that. And that's pretty straightforward. You know what I mean? That's not convoluted. That's really straightforward. But I think if you were to try to do that now, I think people, because it almost is so simplistic, that people would think it was corny or stupid or silly. But kids today they still deal with that. I mean, we just, it wasn't that long ago that our daughter was that age. And so, she would come home and say, "My friends have this, that, and the other thing." So then you have to say, well, we believe in hard work. We believe in earning, all those things that you have to do. So these are like universal situations. These are universal truths. These are things that people have to deal with, every generation. And it just seems like that it's seemingly so corny in today's society that they just don't even get into it. And if they do, they gray up the water so bad that you don't even know what the moral tale is anymore. You see superhero stories like that all the time. It's like, well, what's going on? I don't even know what's good and what's bad.
William in the chat says, "Art be smacking down the truth tonight."
Yeah.
I'm getting all high horsey here.
Yeah, well, look what Bendis is doing with Superman. I mean, exactly to the point. It's the opposite of morality, right? It's about breaking down Superman and the morality that is Superman.
Yeah, and what's the point of that? I mean, these are still supposed to be somewhat moral tales for young people to come in and read and to try to like Popefire was saying, inspire. Look what she's doing. My gosh, that was inspired from comic books, and she's doing great things and kind things for other people, and that's why we're all here right now to talk about. And that's what's wrong with that? Why shouldn't we inspire people like that?
Yeah.
Don't make me blush here, man.
Duh.
I apologize for the 18 dislikes. I have a fan base, but I also have a hating base apparently.
That's okay. That's just those SJW bully types. They don't know anything better to come over here and bully. That's what they are.
It's what every video I appear on. Okay, sorry about that.
It's all those sock puppets. It's Raven. It's a Pope Raven with her sock puppet accounts. She's coming in and doing you in. Well, would you guys mind maybe talking about Black and White a little bit? Going
Please.
into that? Okay, cool. Okay, let me see if I can do this. Okay, so
I don't know. I didn't come on here to hear about that.
Oh, man, I take everything back that I said before.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
She is evil, just like Blackfire. Pope Blackfire just showed up in the chat.
Well, I wouldn't even have to change my name. It would still be Popefire. I just have to change my hair color.
You're gonna love it too. Booster has went and prepared 10 pages for Black and White. He's ready.
Oh, there we go.
Oh yeah, but it's all secret, so I'm not gonna share any of it just yet.
Okay. We have a little preview. We got some pages in. So first I click on my little icon here, then I go over to screensaver, boom, and then I hit share. And then I go here.
Yes,
so,
there we are.
Voila, here you guys go. So we just got this back from the colorist this morning. And so this is page 22 of Black and White. So you guys can see it on your screen?
Oh yeah, it's so 90s.
I think what you meant to say is it's so amazing.
Yes. I said that was a positive. I wasn't being negative.
I know, I'm ready to bring the 90s success back.
Yeah,
Oh
hey, it looks great, man.
Yeah, I would love that too. 90s were good.
Yeah.
Let's do it, people.
I love the headgear.
Yeah, no, it's very cool.
Yeah, so one of the things is we actually take it from the 20th century into the 21st century. So this is not the only suits that they're going to have. So one of the ideas in the story is to try to what the remastering is to bring it into a 21st century dynamic and look. So that's why the upgraded artwork and coloring. So that's where the remastered aspects come in.
We should have grabbed the comparison page, but I guess it's too late now.
Yeah.
Who's coloring for you?
A guy named Priya, and I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with our coloring dramas, but what number is he, Taylor?
Oh my gosh, is it like 14 or 15 now?
I think it might even be higher. Yeah, we find out a lot of people. What's that, Booster?
What? How did you manage that?
We would in good faith, we would ask them to do work. They would do maybe 1 or 2 pages, and sometimes they would stop giving us pages, or situation would just fall apart. So yeah, it was touch and go, but we were lucky enough to get Korea in here, and he's knocking it out of the ballpark, as they say. Yeah, so this is, you talk about altruism, this is Reed Blackett, aka Black, coming to the aid of this woman that he barely knows and trying to help her out of a bad situation that she's kind of gotten herself into, though.
Well, I mean, some might say she was driven to it. Others might say.
What would you say, Taylor?
You know what? She's a troubled woman. She's been through a lot, but she does bring some of it onto herself.
And that's where Black comes into it, because he's kind of the inspiration that shows her maybe a better way to deal with some of the bad things that have happened to her in the past, you know. So don't take it out. Like, it's not necessarily eye for an eye. That's not the way civilized society should be.
Oh, I see. A woman needs a man to come and save her. It's very problematic.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. So what ends up happening, since it is Black and White and it is a 50-50 kind of book, that what he realizes that is she doesn't really need to be saved. So how about that, Booster? That she's capable of definitely saving herself.
She's a strong, independent woman who ain't need no man.
I'll allow it.
We were talking about this in Discord the other day, because I was telling Booster, I believe it was Booster and Chester, I was like, there's not a book really out there that, you know, kind of appeals to me, but I really like optimistic characters. Well,
it's also a relationship book. So
yeah.
Just to get into, like, you know, your epic love stories, there is in the background, there is, it doesn't overly get played up here, and it will develop in later issues, but it's definitely kind of, you know, the attractions there, and then fighting for your love, you know, that
Well,
type.
I am sold. You have me already. You don't have to promote it anymore to me because I'm sold already.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So this
Okay.
is a love story then.
In the backdrop, yes. So there's definitely an attraction. It's kind of like it's kind of a what if story. So if two people met under the best of circumstances, um, they would go in a certain path. But let's just say something in your past, something that you weren't able to deal with for whatever reasons, like skeletons in your closet, things of your past that you just hadn't dealt with, that get in the way of you moving forward in that other life that you want, but that can't have because of this past. So in an ideal world, if these guys didn't have the past that they had, they would just be together and they would be business partners and lovers and all the other stuff. But since there's stuff in their past that's kind of getting in the way, and most relationships kind of have these issues. Some tear people apart. Some are, you know, more pressing, and sometimes you're able to overcome them and still be together. So that's kind of the romantic part of it, is that. And so they are the yin to each other's yang. They are like, you know, the good, the bad, the hopeful, the not so. Like all those things are in the dynamics of their relationship.
Well, that's horrible. Because, you know, those things really depress Booster. You know.
Yeah. I heard him chime in earlier. Yeah. Yeah. He's not a hopeful guy.
Yeah. No, you've
I'll
lost
tell
your
you,
reader.
I'm an optimistic lad. I'm full of energy. Look at me go.
Look at me go. Well, that's why you can idolize a hero that stole his powers.
There
How
you go.
dare you? How dare you accuse me of this?
A crook,
Disgusting.
in essence.
You are fake news.
Ooh.
Why don't you just start, you know, picking up some Punisher books if you just want, you know, straight on villains?
Oh.
Well, I might just do
Shots
that
fired.
because that sounds like a good read to me.
I'll take that challenge and I'll run with it. Yeah. So yeah. So that's kind of the crux. And then the tagline is, in a world where law and order is often blurred to gray, justice can only be black and white. And I think based on everything that we've been talking about today, is kind of the idea that's at play here with black and white, because the world is a really gray area, and it kind of always has been. But I think morality, like I said, it's kind of more up for grabs now than ever before. And I do believe that, I know that it's not reality, but comic books aren't reality. Superman's not reality. These things aren't reality. These are things to aspire to. These are stories that should inspire us to, you know, run a charity, a fundraiser to get some comic books into people's hands, these type of things. And so that's what I'm hoping this book can do. And that's kind of the crux of the story, where, you know, good is good and bad is bad. So we're bringing things back into a black and white kind of storytelling, you know, something that you can see the absolute good and absolute bad in the story. You don't have to question who the good guy is, or, you know, weave through, you know, the gray area to find that character.
Yeah, in a world where law and order is blurred to gray, justice can only be black and white.
Yeah. Okay, so
You're
here's
so cool.
so
The
here's
art is fantastic, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I appreciate that. So this is kind of a situation that Whitney, aka White, sticks Reed, aka Black, in. So she basically says, "You got yourself into this situation, you get yourself out," and she just kind of leaves him with all these guards that just kind of beat the crap out of him.
But he handles.
Oh yeah, he handles.
So, what is his power set?
He's an ex-British agent for the MI10, which is a division of MI6, and this is a future tense story. So it's in the not so far flung future. So maybe 20, 30 years from now. And so robotics and things like that are a way of life. And so because of the robotics and the tech and things like that, morality is probably shifted beyond, you know, what it is now. And so the MI10 division of MI6 is robotics division. So he's kind of James Bond with a robot fighter. Like he's a robot fighting James Bond. And so, but he's also kind of, at this point in the story, he's kind of learned some truth about what his job entails, and the awful truth behind kind of killing without conscience, just following orders without fully understanding what the ramifications are, just the morality of being a spy, he puts in question. And so then he just kind of walks away from it and tries to start a normal existence. And so that's when he meets Whitney Sung, aka White. And so his kind of new life, which is, he thinks it's a better way of life, a maybe more moral way of living. At the very least, he's not killing strangers and doing that. He tries to help out her family brewery that's struggling, and he's an import-exporter. So that's kind of how they get together. So like I said, if things would have went without their past coming back to haunt them, in that direction, they probably would have been able to create a successful business. They may have been lovers. They may have been, had a great relationship, an epic relationship. But because of the past coming back, it just kind of disrupts their lives. So, yeah, that's kind of Reed in a nutshell, I guess.
No, it's cool. So it's bionics.
His power set. I'm sorry. He's got kind of a super suit. So this suit right here is kind of a primitive, more like early prototype of the suit. So that's where we get into. Let me see. This suit. So
yeah, there it is.
Yeah. So that suit kind of gets destroyed in the story. So then they get upgrades, and they get upgraded into this suit. So these suits actually have. Well, I'm going to let Taylor talk about the suits. I've been talking a lot. Go for it, Taylor.
All right. The suits are they're kind of symbiotic, where they work together. When they wear the suits, they kind of link their consciousness so they can fight symbiotically. And you can see Art added on the new suits. They have like a little marking under their eye, and that's a sign that they are synced up. So the suits kind of increase their physical abilities, their strength, their I almost said charisma, their agility, stuff like that. But they can also absorb and redirect kinetic energy with them.
So the suits can withstand like a certain blow, obviously punching, things like that, but also possibly a robotic hit. Which is what they're geared up to, is basically to fight robots. And so they can withstand bullets and things like that. And like Taylor said, with whatever impact, they can kind of multiply that and then kind of use that against their opponents. And so...
and they look pretty badass.
Oh, thank you. I think so as well. And so...
They do.
Oh, thank you. And so... and then the idea with Reed's, a.k.a. Black's guns, are that he's had a lifetime of killing. His profession was, assassin. Whatever needed to be done, he did. So he doesn't want his hands dirty. He doesn't want blood on his hands anymore. So he and his partner in crime have discovered or came up with these guns that are non-lethal. So it's kind of like a paintball gun combined with a tranquilizer gun.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what they do is I wanted there to be a graphic, almost like somebody is getting shot by a gun. So you know how paintballs, when they hit, they kind of impact, the paint disperses almost like it could be blood. So I just thought so you could still have that graphic kind of cool impact, that the paintball is kind of still, it's in a shell, so it's still like a bullet. So the paintball is kind of in the shell or the cartridge, and so then it works just like a conventional gun where it has the gunpowder, but the shell, when the hammer hits the pin, there's a little explosion, and then the lead shoots out, but the lead is definitely lethal. The paintball shoots out, so it moves as quickly as, let's say, a bullet. And then when it hits, this is where you have to suspend a little disbelief, even if it impacts on clothing or whatever. The sleeper agent in it affects the nervous system instantly, so it'll put you down as quick as, like, say, a bullet would, and also depending on what part of the body you hit. Is how quickly it'll absorb. So just like if it's a headshot or a chest shot, those are lethal usually for a human being. If he, shoots in those two areas, he'll put them, his opponent down relatively quick. So Taylor, you want to talk? Well, I guess we can't talk about which weapons too much.
I was gonna say,
it's a spoiler alert.
people were saying in the chat that they love how you can talk on about this without spoiling things. So I think you did a really good job.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys, because I always feel like I'm giving away too much. But that's cool.
Are you able to talk about what weapons White has there?
Oh, you're baiting me, aren't you? You want me to give us a yeah. Good
Absolutely.
Try there, Booster.
It is.
Well, are
It
you
is
able
good.
to give me a spoilerless version of it?
I don't know if we can.
Yeah, it can't be done. You just have to read the book. So I think that's a good setup, though, because when you see her fight with that weapon, it should actually have some crazy impact for you guys. So
Cool.
I'm kind of getting emotional just thinking about it. And it's not just a cool weapon, but it's also like it's a cool story beat, I believe, anyway. Man, I want to buy this book now.
And you guys should. There's 3 days left to do so.
Will it be going on in demand?
We're still talking about it. I know there's well, maybe we could talk about it, because I could get your input as well, because we talked with Pixel Trader a little bit about it, and John Malin chimed in a little bit on it. But how do you guys feel about a campaign ending in a finite way versus kind of going in demand?
Well, run it as long as possible. I mean, my point of view, because I won't be able to back it until next month.
Oh, so Chester can't get his book unless they do in demand.
Yes.
Okay. I
Same
think that
with me, so I think you have to do in demand now.
Yes. See,
Yeah.
it's all about the Chester, man.
You know what, Chester and Booster, and I think actually Popefire said something similar. So maybe that might be the biggest selling point that I have heard thus far.
Well, that's something we've been talking about. Is there's so many of these great IndieGoGos coming out. We want to back all of them. I mean, I'm 17 in, right? And
Wow.
but there's so many, it's hard to keep up with it. We have lives, and even though so many of the people in the community have come over and they've changed their schedules, they've changed their budgets to get in here and support this community, which is amazing. And thank you to everybody who's doing that. We still are limited. We have responsibilities. So, but as long as you can, because I think there's many people like me, especially right now, because we've like I said, I've dropped money on 17 IndieGoGos, and I know you got Denali. I don't know if he's up in here right now, but Denali's dropped on 30 plus.
Well, Denali's somebody I definitely want to talk to, because he's got some like crazy knowledge that goes pretty far back. So yeah, I want to get him in as well. But yeah, I think then my next question would be, how long do you think it should stay in the store? Because you said a month, right, Chester?
Well, for me, it's next month, but it's the in demand seem to be running about a month or more. I know Mike has had in there for a while. I think in demand just works like a store. I guess I don't know the ins and outs of it, because I haven't done an IndieGoGo myself. And actually, it might be nice, Art, if you came over on Fanspeak with us and sat down and as well as you, Tag, and sat down and tell us.
Thank you.
How do you guys run an IndieGoGo? What is the background process? How did you have to fill it out? What are the options? I think people would be interested in it. But if it doesn't keep you from doing the initial 30-day run, then just leave it in the store.
There are quite a few comments saying leave it in on demand until you go to print, and I agree with that myself.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I never thought, because Taylor and we ran 2 Kickstarters. And Kickstarter is definitely like, it's an event, right? It's a 30-day event. And then once that 30 days hits, it's done. So I think we're just trying to reprogram our brains to wrap around the idea of it going maybe another month or 2. Because I think, like you said, Lone Star has been up for like almost 2 months, right? at this point. So I guess as long as it's selling and people still want to buy the book, maybe that will be the deciding factor when we pull it down. Because I think, if I'm not wrong, Taylor, we can pull it down at any time as long as it's still doing.
Yeah, I believe so. So we could leave it around. We don't really have to leave it around for any like a straight month or anything. I guess it could be any number of days we wanted.
The only criteria is as long as it's still generating some kind of revenue, right? So if it stagnates, then they'll cancel it, right?
Yeah, I think if you stop making a certain amount, then they'll cancel it.
Yeah, I think that's the only pitfall. Yeah, so
Yeah, the chat is overwhelmingly in favor of doing in demand.
oh my
Well,
gosh, I think
So we'll have to talk about this.
yeah.
How much over contribution are you going to print this book in the first printing anyway? I mean, how many extra are you going to make for yourself in the first printing?
Well, the only reason we're really going to overprint is because this is the first volume. That's also why this campaign has to do well, because we need enough money that we can spend another 3 months to remaster and rewrite and redraw the next 48 pages. So, you know what? I forgot the question. I'm sorry, Chester. What was the question again?
The question is how much are you going to overprint
Oh, okay.
this first printing?
Yeah, so what we were thinking is that we would overprint enough that we could possibly offer it in the second campaign, maybe as a like a 2 for tier. But you'd definitely not be able to buy it individually.
Yeah, IndieGoGo would still be the only marketplace you'd be able to get it.
Yeah, we don't have any store set up, and we don't have any plans of selling it at conventions or anything else at this place. The market is just IndieGoGo at this point. And to be honest, we really haven't talked about any of those other things. And to be honest, we haven't really even talked too much about the next campaign. So, this is probably more than we've actually even talked about it or thought about it, other than that most likely it would be offered in the next campaign, but probably as a 2 for tier.
I see.
And maybe as with a different cover or something like that. So this campaign will be unique unto itself. You know what I mean? Like the only place that you could get this version of the book is here. And then if we do offer it again in volume 2, black and white volume 2, it would be a slightly different version of the same book.
Oh, I see. Well, you're sitting at $27,811, and you have 3 days left to go. And I know that's going to pop up because the last 3 days of crowd funds always go up, especially the last few hours. People seem to like that. So you got more money to make here for sure.
Oh, cool. Thank you so much. And you know what? I should see if I can get back, and then we'll try to wrap this up. Is that right? If I click this? No? What's happening?
Make sure to hit the blue one, not the red.
Okay. Stop sharing. No. Yes. Stop sharing. Yes. Okay.
Woo!
There we are.
Last time I hit the wrong one, you guys.
Well, the thing is, last time the blue one showed up at the top, so I was trying to hover around the top, but this time it showed up on the bottom. So who knows? Anyways, guys. Oh, go ahead, Chester.
Oh, no. I'm just Sierra Whiskey was asking me to ask you, who are you using for your printing?
John Malin really is promoting Print Ninja, but we also have like Global PSD that we talk to for the other Kickstarter campaign, and but we're still in early. We're just kind of like putting out fires and promoting and taking care of business as it comes up. So we haven't really gotten that far, to be honest, as well. I'm kind of a real linear thinker, and I know that that's not good for these campaigns, that you really have to, kind of think 2, 3, 4, 5 months in advance. So I'm really trying to retrain my way of thinking, because what has served me in the 36 years that I've been doing comic books is to kind of take care of business that, that's in front of me. So just kind of put your head down and finish it, and then move on to the next, finish it, move on to the next. So I'm not a guy that has like 3, 4 steps planned out in advance. And to do these, you have to have that. So I'm definitely trying to retrain my thinking, and also, just like this, all the YouTube stuff is all brand new for us as well. So
cool.
I think we're doing okay.
I think you're doing great.
Oh, thank you. So do you guys have anything you want to plug as a parting shot? I know you guys have Fanspeak this Friday, and it's the three of you and Denali, and then who else do you guys have?
Booster.
Booster. Yeah.
Well,
He
I said the three of you.
Really kicking him off.
Oh, right, yeah, of course.
No, the core group that is involved in all of our different things. We do Fanspeak, we do Bugbear's Basement, we do Comics News Today. But every day we put up lives. And as a matter of fact, after this show, we usually do 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but we will be doing our comic news later today, guys. Don't worry. Check us out. No, we have, of course, we have Booster, we have Popefire, myself, Denali, and DeWolf, and Mr. Thundaro, who is Ethan Van Sciver's moderator.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's the main group. And then what we try to do is we want to have a pro come on if we can, because we want to talk about their careers and their art, because we're fans, right? We want to enjoy the comic book, but we also, what we do, and their main premise of me creating the show was to have new fans on every week, because that's what we do. The fans of comics and Comicsgate are our guests. And so every week we have I always leave seats for new fans that come up and chat, and so we can make new friends and meet new people. And everybody that's here listening now, definitely go over Primarch Sanguinis. Will drop the links for you, and come over there and join us, and go to my Facebook as well, which is Chester C. Busby III, and tell me to put you on the show, and I will put you on the show, and we'll sit and chat with you and have a great time. That's what we do over there. And but we've had a lot of great guests. We've had William, Willie Mammoth come over. He's been a great guest. We have Dina. We've had all kind of fans come on, and it's interesting to me of all these dynamic, interesting people, because I mean they're not just these blank gray things. They're people. They're lawyers, doctors, construction workers, and they all have these great opinions, and they're from all over the world. I mean, look right here. You got a guy with myself that's sitting in Japan, Booster's over in New Zealand, and I have no idea where Popefire is, and I'm not going to ask. I mean, yeah, it's awesome. We're having a great time, and thank you very, very much for having us over here today.
Oh, it's been my pleasure, and thanks for having us on. I thought it was last week, but apparently it was 2 weeks ago.
The days are bleeding together.
Yeah, and we do have plans to hang out with you guys this Friday, so if you still want us, we would love to come on.
Absolutely.
Somebody's saying, "Cut! Don't go to Popefire." What is this?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you guys definitely go like Comics Titans fundraiser the page. That's where I'll do a lot of my updates. I do a lot of updates on my Twitter as well, and that one's super, super hard to find. All you have to do is type in Popefire, and then like you'll find me. So I don't really do a lot on my YouTube channel outside of drunk Titans reviews. Yeah, we do silver ones on Saturdays. Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, wait. So I got to back up. So you guys get drunk?
We watch live action Titans, and we take shots every time something edgy, every time something stupid, every time something over edgy, or every time something out of character happens.
How are you still alive?
I have to.
That is a good question. Last week, because I'm
going to cut the stream short because someone got a bit hammered.
White girl wasted. I'm actually not big on drinking, but I knew it was the only way for me to enjoy the show. So, but yeah.
So what's your poison? What did you drink?
Okay, so I had this really bright idea to pick up whatever had a Pope hat on it.
Oh no!
And not what tasted good and what had a low percentage of alcohol. So,
oh goodness.
So I picked up this random beer with. No, I had 4 actually, James. It was 4, and it was the absolute worst because I never get drunk. And I actually texted Booster. It's like it's like I think I'm dying because I just threw up. And it's like, Kinsey, that's normal. I was like, that's normal.
Oh my god! So you're mainly drinking beer then?
Mostly, yes.
Okay.
I probably am gonna move to something lighter this Friday, though.
Something lighter.
Yeah, definitely something lighter because that was a lot. And I
get this girl a near beer.
There you go. Yeah.
What on earth?
What's your poison, Art?
I'm a vodka. I like a mixed vodka drink. So I like cranberry and vodka. So that'll take the edge off. I think that's my favorite drink now. Beer, just I can just drink it all day long, and it won't really affect me too much. So I drink for taste and I drink for effect. So the vodka cranberry is usually good for me. How about you?
I'm a Glenfiddich man all the way.
Ah, yeah.
Whiskey, single malt.
Whiskey. I did go out in one of those drink and draws, and we did like high-end whiskeys. And I always thought like that, because I only had like some of the trashier whiskeys in my life. And there is a difference. There is a significant difference in good whiskeys. Yeah. So if I was ever to drink them and I could afford them, I would get the high-end stuff. Although I can't say the same for tequila. So I know there's people saying, "Oh, I can taste the difference between a high-end tequila and a cheap." And I'm like, if it has a worm in it or it's high-end, it's all the same to me. It all tastes exactly the same to me. So
I have a friend. I have a friend over here in Japan who has two full cases of 50-year-old Glenfiddich. So I visit him often.
Ah, it's a good friend, good close friend. Yeah.
Yes.
So very good. So okay, so we got Popefire. Do you want to mention the charity a little bit just before we end this?
Oh yeah, definitely. Reminder tickets are 1 for 3, 2 for 5. You get entered into the raffle. It's set up to where it helps creators, consumers, and people that donate. We are pretty excited. I do have a print from Gary Shipman, Spider-Man.
That's beautiful.
Ooh, very cool.
But yeah, we have all types of different things. If you do want to donate, we have prints like that one. We have the prints like the Teen Titans one. We have the first appearance of Nightwing. We have several different comics that are kind of harder to find. If you do need help, definitely go. I mean, I have the form on the Comics Titans page, blah, 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 on the Comics Titans page, and on my Twitter as the pinned post. All you have to do is fill it out, send it either to the page or DM me, and we will go over it, and we'll either send you, we'll send you a physical copy, because after we hit 300, we are going to start sending physical copies. And we've sent, I believe, 10 comic books out, and then three goodie bags from the Alterna Ween. So we are helping people. I'm super excited. I'm really thankful for this opportunity, and I'm really hopeful that more people will donate, but also will ask us for help, because that's the whole reason we set up this whole thing.
Yeah, Popefire. Where can they get the raffle tickets?
The raffle tickets, you go to the Facebook page and you hit shop now, and it will take me a few days because Eric has to tell me who's donated, and then I do write personal emails to people, because I am very thankful for people that donate, and I will send you your raffle ticket numbers from there.
Okay. So Booster, do you have a party shot?
Oh, what's that? Like a little closing statement?
Yeah, just something you might want to plug, thing you might want to leave us.
I don't really have things to plug. I have a Twitter because Popefire here made me get one. And I purely use it because I don't like Twitter. It's an awful website. And
It is actually.
Hey, Art.
Yeah.
Awful website.
Real quick, I think your screen is locked on Popefire's.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
So
allow
just
it.
click it once.
They need something beautiful to look at.
There you go.
There we go. Sorry about that.
Well, if you want more Booster in your life, you could always just go subscribe to Chester Busby's channel. I'm there all the time.
Well, very good. Well, we were so fortunate to get you on, Booster.
Oh, absolutely.
Even though your powers were taken and stolen from the future.
How dare you?
What? Okay, a Legion flight ring? Really? Come on.
True.
Oh, how dare you?
How dare you? How dare you? Taylor, you wanna since I'm gonna do this, I'll click on Taylor's here. I'm learning. All right, you wanna lead us out?
Sure. All right, so you guys, we have 3 more days left in the Black and White campaign, and we have 1 day left where we are trying to hit our 30K goal, and that 30K goal gets us extra pages in the book, and it gets you entered into a giveaway. We're going to do a drawing for 30 backers who pledged from the time of the start of the campaign to this Friday, and 2 of them are going to get 2 pieces of artwork. One of them is the original Grey Capullo Art Thibert cover, and the other is the opening splash page from issue number 2 of the original Black and White series. You can see both of them in our last video, and you can see them in our Black and White block party video as well. So that's our major goal we're trying to hit. We're pretty close right now, so make sure you share the campaign with some friends, try to spread the word, and make sure to like this video, try to boost our views, and make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And if you go in the description, you can find the link to that charity of Popefires, and you can find everybody's channels here. I think I still need to get, I guess Booster, you said they can find you on Busby. So Busby's channel's there where Fanspeak takes place, and you will find the link to the Black and White campaign as well.
Yeah. Thank you. That was very well done. We almost seem professional this time out.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. So, hey, guys, thank you so much for showing up, helping us support Black and White Remastered IndieGoGo. Like Tater said, we only have till Sunday, and this Friday is going to be the 30K showdown. So if we can get to 30K this Friday, I would really like to get some I don't know, just thank you artwork to you guys. Just give you back something for being the best fans in the world, which are Black and White fans, as everyone knows. So thanks, guys. Thanks for all the support that you've given so far. And have a good evening. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.